everybody. It's good to see all the names and faces. Um, welcome to the 2026 election cycle with the Norwalk Registrar of Voters Office. Stuart and I are excited to have everybody here. Just a few quick things. We started this last year where we go over policies and procedures. And we do this virtually so everyone can kind of just get a refresh before we start our in-person trainings. We're going to cover really just some housekeeping items, super basic stuff, and just go over code of conduct, the scheduling, and everything like that. So let's start. So if you take a look here, you're going to see the early voting days. So as you'll see, we have August 3rd through the 9th. Feel free to take a snapshot if you like.
I'm not
And I
seeing anything.
also have this on social media. And additionally, we have printouts available in the office. And we'll have them at training classes as well. And you'll just see here all the dates, the times. We also have something very similar in the atrium here at City Hall so that everyone has a sense of when the primary is. Keeping in mind that only registered Republicans and Democrats vote in the primary. So with that being said, I don't know why I have these lines in my screen. I'm sorry about that. Um, with that being said, this is our team. So you have, of course, Stuart and myself, your registrars, and then Matt Lane is our deputy ROV for Stuart, and Jess Garante is my deputy ROV. And then we have Tyler, who's our tech assistant, Lauren, our senior admin, Irene, who is new to us, and Anissa, who helps us out part-time as well. Many of you might recognize Irene. She's your former city clerk. And Jess, I introduced all of you to Jess probably around January, but she is here as well. So if you haven't had an opportunity to meet her, meet Jess and Irene. Okay, so just real quick, a poll worker is a trained election official who serves the public by administering elections in accordance with Connecticut election laws and procedures. Poll workers help ensure every eligible voter opportunity to cast their ballot in a secure, accessible, accurate, and impartial manner. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. None of this happens without you. So here I have the training schedule, which this has also been sent via email. We'll also have a few printouts here in the office. Um, as you can see, our first training is coming up this Saturday. And what I'd actually like to do, bear with me one second. Uh-oh, Tyler, what happened?
It's okay. It's okay. Just go back.
Do you have my
Oh, the pen? Did you want the pen?
no, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, I cleared your drawings.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So I just wanted to quickly, I have a poll. Are you able to do this part, Tyler, or only I can?
Oh, you wanted to do a poll?
I have a poll in here, yeah. So, the first one, everyone will see that will come up here. So just let us know if you're attending training this Saturday. So that would be if you're a checker, or if you are a moderator and assistant registrar. Just let us know so that we have an idea of how many people to expect for this Saturday's training. The training for the checker class is going to be in the concert hall with myself and Jessica. And the training for the moderator and assistant registrar class will be in the community room with Matt and Stuart. And both start at 9 a.m. and we will have bagels and cream cheese. And just make sure you bring, a bottle of water, whatever it is that you might, you might want to have to drink. Okay, and we'll also have water available. All right, perfect. So I'll leave that going. Tyler, if you want to just end that when it seems right.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. All right, perfect. So, um, I dropped here just some important phone numbers for poll workers. Obviously, all of this is going to be on, you're going to have accessible to you on the day of, during early voting, and of course during on August 11th, primary day. But if you'd like to take a snapshot of it, feel free. And just, know that anything leading up to those days, feel free to reach out to us for any reason. And then I just have the local NPD, obviously, for when you're actually working. And of course, as always, in an emergency, dial 911 first and foremost. And then the assistant registrars, always have an open line of live communication on August 11th. We typically don't use the Zoom for early voting, but we're here right in the building, and everybody has access to the phones to reach us if needed. So we are not using Easy Vote anymore. As many of you who are returning from last year might remember, we tried out a program called Easy Vote. Unfortunately, it just had a lot of clunkiness to it, both on our end and then also just for the poll worker experience as well. So we made the decision that we would not use Easy Vote any longer. So we've kind of reverted back to just, Excel spreadsheets. We're, saving them as PDFs so that everyone has an opportunity to print the page that, their work day might fall on, and also gives you a chance to see who you're working with, and gives us the ability to easily move people around. When you click on that link in the emails, it will take you to the full PDF of every early voting day as well as August 11th. If you hit Control F, you can then search by name, and you'll be able to find yourself and where you are placed on the schedule. So just keep that in mind as well. And if you're having difficulties accessing it, just let us know. We're happy to print it here for you if you'd like a printout and don't have that capability, or if you simply, just need some clarification and you're having trouble viewing the PDF. We are now using
Diana,
constant. Yep,
Diana, the moderator this Saturday is for the polls, right? And then the early voting training is separate.
that is correct. Yes.
Okay.
So, if you are working as a moderator at the polling location on August 11th, you should absolutely come to the you should absolutely come to the training this Saturday. If you are doing early voting, then you can simply just come on the 25th. So if you need any clarification or you're not sure, feel free to reach out in an email or give a call tomorrow. We'll be here. So we are using constant contact
This
now.
Saturday?
Please just be mindful that the very first few times, sometimes it can hit your junk or spam folder. Once you recover it and move it to your inbox, it typically fixes the issue. You can also save us in your email as a contact. But we'll always follow up with a text message once we've sent an email if there are any updates. So you'll kind of have that as backup to know that there's something in your inbox to take a look at. Okay, so I'm gonna do the attendance. So just bear with me 1 second. Or actually, Tyler, are you able to do that?
Attendance? I mean, maybe as a poll.
As it's in there. It's for the poll.
I had to end the old poll.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. I got it.
perfect. So if you guys could just please type your first and last name. This is just so that we know you're here. And we'll make sure that you receive payment for the class tonight. And if you have any trouble for some reason and you're not able to do this, or maybe you're on the phone, just email me or Stuart and let us know. Actually, probably best you email me and let us know that you were on so that when I do payroll on Monday, we can make sure that you get paid for this class on Thursday, okay? Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I'll let that go, and then Tyler, just when you have a moment, if you could take care of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm watching it. We got like
Cool.
78%. People want to get paid. Shocker.
Awesome, love it. So, poll worker training pay is $25 for the virtual, and then the part two in person ranges 30, no, 40 and up, depending on your role. Um, and then as far as onboarding goes, we do want to make sure that you have all your paperwork in. If you've worked with us before, you should be all set, unless you have maybe married recently and have a name change, an address change, or perhaps your banking information has changed. So just be really mindful to get us that new information as soon as possible. We can't take direct deposit information through email, or any other. The best way to do it is to physically complete the form that the city of Norwalk has. So we'll have that available at all of our training sessions, as well as the full onboarding packet with taxes, the tax forms, and anything else that you may need to change. So just be sure that if you're not attending the in-person class, that you let us know so that we can arrange for you to come into the office and take care of the paperwork. If it's not direct deposit, typically you can fill it out electronically and email it back to us. Okay? And this is the payout amounts. I know that I also included it in an email. This should be fairly accurate for everyone for 2026. Um, so as you'll see, we know it's a long day, and at the end of the day, this is just really a small stipend for your civic duty, but it is something. So just, keep in mind. And if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to reach out to us, okay? This is a dual party primary, so two parties, one location. It is going to be Republicans and Democrats. It is a fourth congressional Republican primary and a gubernatorial governor for Connecticut for the Democrat ballot. Remember, unaffiliated voters can register to a party to vote in the primary up until the day prior to August 11th. Only registered Republicans and Democrats can vote in the primary. Sometimes people might show up and think that they were registered to a party, but they are not. If it is on August 11th, unfortunately, they would not be able to register. Matt or Stuart, is it noon on August? No, it's not. It is the day prior, correct?
It's the day prior, yes.
Okay, thank you.
It may be noon. We'll get that information
Okay, okay.
to you
So we
there.
will get something out and make sure that everybody has that information, but of course we'll also be accessible to you on that day as well if any questions come up. Okay, and just keep in mind, we'll go over all of this in the training, but everyone working needs to be mindful that Republican ballots are being given solely to Republicans and Democratic ballots are given solely to Democrats. And there will be ways and tools and resources to help ensure that that happens. And we'll go over all of that in the extensive trainings in person. Okay. Um, One thing that I did want to briefly mention, this is just to keep in mind. We'll go over it extensively for the early voting class, but we are no longer using envelopes for early voting. Um, Electors will now place their ballot directly into the tabulator. So I don't want to spend too much time on what that procedure looks like because it's going to be super important to take that detailed class of early voting on I think it's 25th. But just keep that in mind if you're working early voting, there is a pretty significant change there. Um, we do not have same day registration for primaries, so you won't have to worry about that this go around. We will have it for November, and you will use envelopes for that, only SDR come November. Um, I believe that's it. Matt, do you have anything that you want to add without getting into too much detail about that?
No, without getting into too much detail, it is should speed up the process, but it does change a little bit what the checkers are doing in early voting, and it that did impact the moderator's return. We will go into the gory details of that during training.
And I do have something to share also as we go further into the slide. You will see we have something called an EV log now, and we'll just show you a glimpse of what that looks like. Again, there'll be a lot of training on that, but just, keep that in mind. So this is just an example of what your poll worker pay sheet will look like. You don't need to fill that out for this evening. Um, this is just an example of what it looks like for 2026. Biggest thing is to remember that you do need to ensure this is signed and that it is given to your moderator completed at the close of the day. City of Norwalk now pays weekly, no longer bi-weekly. So if you receive direct deposit, you'll receive your payment the following Thursday of every week. I highly recommend direct deposit. If you sign up for paper check, typically the checks are not available until late in the day on Thursday. And if you don't pick them up during our business hours, 8 to 4, they are mailed Fridays. And we have noted that the mail can be very slow when we're trying to get checks to people. So I would highly recommend ensuring that you're set up for the direct deposit so it just goes automatically into your account. Keep in mind if you are working above 7.5 hours, you're going to want to make sure that you are taking a lunch just because of Connecticut, state and labor laws. Um, this is just an example of what your pay sheets will look like. Also, when you come to the in-person trainings, you'll receive a poll worker training class pay sheet, and we would just ask that you make sure that you complete your class type and put your time in and your time out. Um, and if you have any feedback, always feel free to put that in as well. Okay.
Diana,
Yes.
there's some questions in the chat about how poll workers would vote. I don't know if you're going to go into absentee or not, but if not, I can just real quick jump in there.
Sure. Go ahead. You can
Sure.
take that one.
So everyone wants to know how to vote if you're a poll worker. Obviously, there's early voting for the entire week. Previous to the election day, you can utilize that. There's also absentee ballot. You can also apply for an absentee ballot. I just dropped a link into the chat, which is where you can find the printable absentee ballot applications as well as an online application. Since we're talking about that, absentee ballots have also changed a little bit. They're now what's called no excuse absentee ballots. For us, that doesn't change anything. One of the valid excuses used to be that you were a poll worker. And now you just don't even really need an excuse. For those of you working in the space of either counting or absentee ballots in general, we will have some additional training on the changes that have been made to the issuing and counting process in that space. So if there's any questions, make sure to show up for those classes as they become available. Um, I hope that's clear. Thanks, Diana.
Is
Yeah.
there a class for absentee ballot counting, or that's just handled?
I'm not sure. Diana, do we have a counting class scheduled yet? Have we put that?
Absentee ballots typically are handled with the town clerk, but obviously as registrars, we assist with the counting. So we are going to speak to the town clerk and we will get an AB counting class likely on the schedule. It will probably be during the day. But if we need to host it at in the evening, we will. But just stay tuned on that. We don't quite have a date yet. A lot of the absentee ballot information has really just come out. So we'll probably need about another week. But anyone that's on that, we'll definitely address that, or we may also just take care of it in the EV class. And if we do that, we'll let everybody know. That's scheduled for AB counting.
To
Okay.
give some perspective on that, we took the training on how to issue absentee ballots was given about 4.5 hours ago, and the envelopes arrived yesterday evening. They're new envelopes, so it's relatively new to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everyone knows, any classes that we have, if you want to take a look at them, you're welcome to go on our YouTube channel. They'll typically be posted there within 48 hours after the class takes place. And you can, listen to the live recording of the most recent classes. So just keep that in mind. If for some reason you're not seeing the updated one on our YouTube channel, you can reach out through email and we'll happily send you the slides or the actual recording, providing that we have it. Additionally, for the most part, some of the 2025 information is fairly on point with the exception of, the EV stuff. So, certainly you could also, refer to those as a refresh as well. And if you have any questions, let us know. We want to be totally transparent. It's going to be hot, August 11th. Be prepared. We did get notification from Norwalk Public Schools that 8 of the polling locations are not air conditioned. So some locations that even do have AC, it is somewhat limited in the gym areas. For those that might be parents or grandparents, if you've attended an elementary school graduation in June, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If they claim your child's school or grandchild's school has air conditioning, it often can be warm. So just please be prepared. Make sure you wear appropriate, cool, loose clothing, lightweight, bring an insulated cold water bottle. Um, I would urge everyone to bring a mini portable fan or mister. There won't be any outlets because we'll be utilizing them. But ensure that you have like a battery operated inexpensive Five Below dollar store mini portable fan. We also have some paper fans that we'll make sure are packed away as well to be sent to each polling location. We will make sure that you are hydrated and that you have enough water. We ordered, I think, 42 cases of water just for the primary. And we will also have someone on staff that will be able to bring ice, that will be able to bring water. So we want to make sure that everybody, is kept as comfortable as possible. What I will say is if you have concerns about your health, you don't do well in the heat, take that into consideration. We can absolutely make sure that we put you on the schedule for October or November. If you feel like maybe this isn't a good idea, let us know. We want to make sure that everybody is okay. If you have concerns, about your health and you feel unwell, any of that, just let your moderator know right away. Everyone's health comes first. And feel free to reach out to me if you have concerns through email, and we can easily, see what we can do. And if not, like I said, we'll make sure that you get work for October or November. Um, the locations that have air conditioning, just so everybody knows, I believe are Marvin, but it will not be functioning on August 11th. The library does have AC. Um, I believe Dr. Ruby Shaw definitely has AC. Ponus Academy, STEAM Academy has AC, but my children go there, and I can tell you it's not well AC'd in that gym. And I believe that is it. So all the other polling locations do not have air conditioning. Um,
Diana, you mentioned Dr. Ruby Shaw. Are you going to go into the changes between Odyssey and Ruby Shaw and South Norwalk and Ruby Shaw?
yeah, yep, I am.
Thanks.
Yeah. Um, so real quick, we'll get through this, then we'll get to the polling locations. Um, so if you are a coffee drinker, the coffee's on you on August 11th. Bring your own coffee. We'll make sure that you have the bagels and the cream cheese again. If you have any allergies or dietary restrictions, pack your food from home. Feel free to go out for lunch. You're welcome to do that. Um, if you are at a school, you will not have access to a refrigerator or a microwave. So just keep that in mind. We will have pizza delivered to your polling location between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. Instead of using one pizza location, we're going to use three so that it's broken up and hopefully can get to everybody within that hour. So aren't some schools receiving their pizza delivery close to the close of the day of the night. So just know that, we did take that into consideration. You will still get your pizza for dinner. You'll get your bagels and cream cheese on August 11th. Early voting, we have purchased a microwave, so you will have a microwave in the community room kitchen. And then, of course, you have the refrigerator. Do label whatever you bring. We're not responsible if somebody goes in there and, happens to get it. Hopefully that won't happen if you have it labeled, but just keep that in mind. And then we did purchase a coffee maker as well as coffee in bulk. So you will have I think it's like a 12-cup coffee maker during early voting in the community room. So you definitely want to identify somebody that's going to be your coffee person and during early voting, and feel free to make, pots of coffee as you see fit. Um, We'll have snacks for everybody during early voting and also during, August 11th. And then there will be a water cooler in the community room during early voting. It will have hot water and cold water. And then last but not least, City Hall in the summertime does food truck Fridays and coffee truck Mondays. So bring money. They take cards, they take Apple Pay, they take cash. So feel free to treat yourself to a coffee on a Monday morning. They have lattes and all sorts of fun stuff. And Fridays, we never know what the food truck is, but certainly you can participate, and we will make sure that whoever is working early voting on that Friday knows who the food truck is. Okay. Um, just a couple like frequently asked questions. I think we addressed a lot of these. What should I bring with me? You really don't have to bring anything, but we do recommend bringing a fan, bringing a well-insulated, cup to keep your beverages cold, and then just any, snacks that you might prefer for yourself. It's a long day. And just be comfortable, but professional in terms of attire. Make sure that it's loose fitting, for the heat, and just be comfortable, be yourself. Um, In terms of breakfast, like I said, you'll have bagels, you'll have cream cheese. In terms of dinner, you'll have pizza. Lunch is on you, but you are welcome to leave, go home, come back. You're welcome to, pack something that'll keep and, have it, not in the election area, but you could, certainly go in a little, area, or if you want to go outside or in your vehicle with the AC for a little bit and some music, feel free to do, all of that. Yes, you have to fill out a tax form, even though it's just one day of work. The city of Norwalk will not pay you unless that tax form is complete. If you need to go to the bathroom, make sure that your shift is covered. School will not be in session. We asked if there were any camps. We were not notified that there are. So, if you do have access, you will have access to the bathrooms, but please just, be mindful, to just, if you're using any interior spaces in the school, it's just to go to the bathroom and go back into the election space. You won't need to go to the front, main entrance like you do when school's in session, because there won't be any children in the building. Um, we typically, you want to make sure that you're as non-partisan. Always, you're there to help everyone. If you want to stretch your legs, you can't walk around the school. You're welcome to tell your moderator if you need to, take a little walk outside the 75 foot, feel free to do that. Um, you may bring a book. We just ask that you really be mindful of books and tablets. If there's an elector in the election space, this is a job, and we want to be as professional as possible. So just ensure that it's something that you can quickly, discreetly put away. And then once the elector has left, you're welcome to, open up your iPad or your phone and text, what have you. We do ask that you not take any calls in the election space. If you need to take a call, notify your moderator, and you're welcome to go outside of the 75 feet. Please do not have earbuds in. If you want to put one in, that's fine. But when an elector is there, please ensure that they have your full attention. Same thing with laptops. If you don't, like any of the food, we unfortunately are not doing reimbursement in terms of receipts. We don't have permission to do that through our purchasing or payroll. So they will not reimburse. So please don't, send receipts. If you're a moderator and it's 8:30 p.m. and you've closed up your polling location, there are no stops. You have to come straight to City Hall. If you agree to be a moderator and an alternate moderator, or in the case of a primary, really like a co-moderator, you're to come straight to City Hall because we're relying on the information that you have. And we want to make sure that everything is being done professionally, and, that we're coming straight to City Hall with, the important documentation. Any moderator during the primary that's going to be beyond 8:45, we'd really appreciate if you can check in via text or a phone call and just let us know, hey, listen, we're still here, we're counting, we're having, X, Y, and Z, problem, we're working to resolve it, and, let us know. Because we really anticipate on everyone, especially during a primary with a, one race per um, party, for things to, for everyone to come back fairly quickly. But obviously, if you need to take the time, do so, but just let us know what's going on. Our office does need to know. Be mindful when you have press around you, or, party leadership, or, any type of, campaigns. We want to make sure that we're professional. So if you're having a problem at the location, be mindful of who's around. This is a job, so, we want to make sure that we're not alarming anyone. If there are issues or concerns, handle them professionally, discreetly, and, contact the moderator, and then, of course, contact the registrar's office. We did permission schools if they'd like to do lemonade sales on August 11th, PTOs, PTAs. I don't think you'll see many bake sales just because of the heat, but they will all check in with us and we'll let you know if you're a moderator to expect that there'll be like a PTA or PTO out there. But we typically have no issues with it whatsoever, as long as they're respectful and they're mindful of the 75 feet. If the school does permit them in the main area, as long as you're not blocking any electors, that's typically, okay with us. But if you have any concerns, just reach out. Everyone should arrive for their shift 30 minutes early if you're coming for early voting, and expect to stay at least 30 minutes late from the close of the early voting day. And then for August 11th, you're going to arrive at 5:15, and you're going to hopefully be out by 8:30, especially in a primary, but we always need to ensure that you're there until your moderator gives you the okay to leave. There are documents that you do need to sign depending on your role, so just ensure that you do complete those and always fill out your timesheets, okay? If a candidate comes in and they vote and then they're shaking hands and they're talking to the electors inside the gym, ask your moderator to assist you, because we do want to make sure that people are coming in solely to the election space to vote and then leave. There's no electioneering, anything beyond that 75-foot mark. If you work or are involved with candidates, you cannot participate in any election activities while you're serving as a poll worker, even on your lunch hour. Um, so I think that's it. Stuart, is there anything that I left out that um, might be prudent, or Matt or Jess?
Excuse me, you covered practically every item of attire, but we still have curbside voting. So,
Yeah, I have a whole slide on that.
the hat and the comfy shoes, at least for those that would be going outside. And I wouldn't recommend bare feet on the cement on a hot day. But if you don't know that already, I'm not sure why we probably won't need to hire you a second time. Your feet will be, burned off.
Yeah, so
Other than
I
that,
do a
no.
slide on curbside voting, so we will go into that a little bit more. But yes, we do, all locations do have curbside voting, um, as well as early voting here at City Hall. So just be mindful, there'll be signage, there'll be a phone number which will link to the moderator's cell phone. So moderators, do make sure that you have that cell phone on and that you're mindful and you are, watching it, because anyone that pulls up for curbside voting does have the ability to contact that number on the signage and curbside vote. Um,
It's our cell phone, but we give it to the moderators and not onto
yeah.
their personal one. We
Um,
might have their personal one, but we're not giving that to anybody
no,
else.
no, they're city phones, and each location will have a sheet of paper with all of the locations and it'll list the moderator cell phone numbers. So you'll be able to also communicate that way if needed. Okay, and we also might communicate with you on that as well. Um, Last year, if you recall, we had a form which you will find during your in-person training. If you're not attending an in-person training, send us an email and we'll make sure that you get this form to sign. You can opt out of having your personal identifying information shared through the Freedom of Information Act. So your home address will not be disclosed, it will be redacted and instead be listed as City Hall 125 East Avenue. It is good for 90 days prior to an election and continues for 90 days after the election. So everybody, we will have those at the training classes. And if you need a copy of it, I'm happy to email it over to you and you can print it and scan it back, or you could bring it in, or you can simply just come into 103, say hi, and fill that out. Okay. We kind of went over this, just always stay neutral. Don't show or share any political support, even in a primary. It is a Connecticut general, state statute. So we want to make sure that we're following all those election laws and procedures. And everybody that, goes to their training, will go over all of that. So meet the new moderator bag. You can thank Jess and Matt. They really kind of thought this through. So as you can see, we do have new moderator bags. You can carry it, you can throw it over your shoulder, you could roll it, you can hand carry it. We really think that it's going to make things a little bit easier. It's going to eliminate bulky bins that we used to send. And it's just going to have all the essentials in one place. I believe, Jess, am I correct that there's like an accordion, or Matt?
Uh, yeah, so the moderator bag's still going to contain most of the same things that the old moderator bag held. It's just easier to organize it because it's semi-rigid. So instead of having all the sort of forms and documents flopping around the inside of a non-rigid bag, this makes it easier to carry, and because it's rollable. We heard from some of the moderators that by the end of the night that got kind of heavy with all the documents and some supplies and things in it. So it's just easier to organize when you're on site, and you can just pick it up and bring it back. It's easier to move. You don't need to move ballots. I think that's the same as it was last year, but there's no change there. So it's not like you're moving 1,000 ballots or having to carry that sort of stuff. It's still just moderator supplies and whatever checker books and so forth that we send you out with, and then you have to return with.
I'm
Yeah, some
looking
of
for a
this helps with
museum
things
for the old
organized.
bags because they're about old enough for one. Some of those old ones we've had a long.
Oh, did Stuart mute?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Oh, there
Yes,
you
I
are.
didn't. I just
Okay.
was making a slight wisecrack as to how long we'd had the other bags, and now we've got new ones.
Yep, exactly. So we're gonna do moderator bag pickup, and you're gonna pick up the bagels just like last year. That will be Monday, August 10th. We'd like to do between 4 and 6. We could extend it maybe till 6:30. But obviously the next day is a long day for everybody. So we'll send some information as it gets closer. The biggest thing that I just want to say is if you're a moderator or an alternate moderator, if you can start thinking now about who's going to come pick up that moderator bag and the breakfast for your poll workers on Monday the 10th, that would be great. If you as moderator or alternate moderator can't come, we'll make it work. We do typically um, provide you with your oath as well when you come in. But we could have you send an assistant registrar, or if truly no one else can coordinate pickup, we can look at someone else on your schedule. But you do have access to the group that you're working with. So please, as moderator, it is your responsibility to figure out who will be here Monday, August 10th between 4 and 6 o'clock. And if you need something a little bit beyond the 6, we can probably extend that to 6:30. But then we really, as staff, want to get home because we'll be here even before you get to the polls at 5:15. So just keep that in mind. Official work schedules have been sent. We're now on round 2 of the schedules. I think we're getting to a point where we're in good shape. So if you're having difficulty viewing the schedule, anything like that, just, reach out. We're no longer using Easy Vote. Don't log in, don't use it. We're just totally done with it. Apologies, and thank you for your patience. We thought maybe we were going to use a program called When I Work. I know a lot of you got a request to download the app. Apologies. That was just a test. It was not supposed to go out to everyone. The company told us that it would not, and of course it did. Go ahead and delete the app. We will not be using that system. Going forward, all schedules and communications are going to be the good old-fashioned way through email by using Constant Contact and text message. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always communicate with us through email, text, and we're never afraid to pick up the phone.
Well, the tabulators are different, so obviously the moderator job is different. It's easier. Now you've got to learn new. Ultimately, these work better than the old ones, and they don't die. So it's a plus. In the end, the old ones had to be replaced, but the new ones are better. So ultimately, that'll work better. It's a little different for the tabulator tenders because, as you said, the voters get to touch the screen and they will ask you questions about what it tells them. But it's pretty clear what it tells them when they think about it. On the other hand, checker job really hasn't changed. The ID rules are the same. The ballot clerk does all the same things. So it's only a few parts of the system that are different this year. The system registrar is pretty much the same, although next year the new computer system that we're working with, there will be differences there. So it's at least these changes are coming in sort of spread out, which is good. The pens for these new tabulators are just regular big pens, so they're not the old heavy marking pens, and we don't want people using anything that bleeds through the ballot because that apparently can cause problems. We don't know how much. We know how these tabulators work, but we haven't seen how the voters are going to react to them and what things may come up that we don't yet know. It seems very likely we'll have a Democratic primary. It seems very
So that slide is from last year, but it's just sort of like a little recap that we, obviously went through the 2025 election, utilizing those new tabulators. So a lot of you on this call have the familiarity with it. And obviously during your in-person trainings, we'll go over more. We will be using them also during early voting. But just a reminder that we do have those new tabulators. They're not as new to us as they were. And we are having a Democratic and Republican primary. That video was from last year. I was just trying to save Stuart from having to do a whole nother presentation. So this is out of order, but here's your FOIA opt-in. So again, just sign in person at your training or pop by or request it by email. Okay. I don't think we ever put anything in here, but just a quick little, I'll share this slide show with you in our next email. Just like a little reminder, de-escalation. We've attended a conference recently and they had a lot on this. So just sort of, you can see your chain of command. You, the election worker, go to the moderator, then the moderator comes to the registrar's office. And if need be, you can escalate to the officer on duty, or we can. And then, of course, in an emergency, call 911. And that should be first and foremost if it's something that truly, concerns you. Always stay calm and respectful. Listen, acknowledge, empathize. I understand. I want to help. Explain, offer options, and just know your limits. If the situation becomes tense, don't argue, just follow the chain of command. We're always, especially at the polls, we're right on that Zoom call throughout the entire day. So just reach out to us. Don't engage in any physical, verbal confrontation. All this goes without saying, but, just step away and, seek help if you need it. And of course, document any incidences, report them to your moderator, and only your moderator should write in the moderator diary, keeping in mind that our moderator diary is no longer a steno pad. It's part of the moderator return. It will be at the very end, and you will take a look at that at your moderator training class on Saturday. This is just an overview. I know everyone knows their roles, but just a quick little overview. Again, I'll send the slideshow for those that want to view it. Everyone will take an oath before they start working. You'll sign the oath. You'll make sure that you fill out your pay sheet. So here are our polling locations. Every polling location will have a police officer on duty. They have been given an instruction manual, and we've asked them to make sure that they are checking in with you throughout the day, that there are presence in the gym area or wherever the election is being held. And additionally, that it's important for the moderator to introduce yourself, the alternate moderator, know who your officer is. If they're in their vehicle for whatever reason for an extended period of time, please call our office, ask the moderator to do so, and let us know. And they'll also be present during EV City Hall in the community room, and also just, walking through the atrium area, things like that. So they're usually absolutely wonderful, and, we really appreciate having them. Regarding polling locations, we are not using Jefferson. We didn't use them last year. We're not using them again this year. We have omitted Columbus Concord. We are not utilizing Columbus Concord. We are not utilizing Maritime Odyssey or as some may remember it or call it, Nathaniel Ely. We will now be using Dr. Ruby Shaw Elementary School, One Meadow Avenue Extension. It is absolutely beautiful. We visited it. I think poll workers are going to be super happy. They have amazing AC. So it's definitely a great location if you're assigned there. So 140B and 140C are now Dr. Ruby Shaw. We are no longer at Columbus Concord and Nathaniel Ely. And then Rowayton Elementary is now at Rowayton. We had it that way last year, and it'll be that way again. School won't be in session. We went over all this. So there's no worries there. You got everything here. Polls open at 6 a.m., not a minute before or after. Show up on time. No matter what, the show must go on. Early voting pay is hourly. Anyone working EV has that special training class titled Early Voting. It will encompass all your early voting roles. During early voting, we ask that you are flexible with roles and assignments. We are literally planning for 21 days of early voting where we're planning for a wedding that we have no idea how many guests are coming to. So bear with us. We ask that you be flexible with the role and the assignment that you have during early voting. You might be a moderator or an assistant registrar, or you like the ballot clerk position, but in order to let everyone have an opportunity, we kind of run through assignments, especially during early voting. So just, have the flexibility to cross-train and be available. This is going to be what your early voting log entry looks like, where you see place early voting receipt. That's going to be where your label goes with the elector name and address, and then they're going to sign. The back side of that is in Spanish. And as mentioned, voters will place their ballots directly into the tabulator, just like they do on election day. Everything we will go over. So you'll know the process, the procedures for end of night, all of that. But just know that this has changed. It's a fairly significant change for 2026 early voting workers. So just keep that in mind. How will voters know that their polling location has changed for the Dr. Ruby Shaw and Rowayton Middle School? Here are our postcards that will be going out. Spanish and English. They are bright, they are colorful, their attention, they'll grab people's attention front and back. And we're notifying everyone, registered Republican and registered Democrat, that will be now voting at Dr. Ruby Shaw and will once again be voting at Roten. Dr. Ruby Shaw is a permanent change. We will not be going back to Odyssey or Columbus Concord anytime in the near election future. Roten, we're on the fence. We think it's going to be a permanent change, but we'll make that, I guess, decision next year. But definitely for 2026, just as 2025, we are not using Roten. So any elector registered and eligible to vote in the primary will get these postcards. Tyler, I don't know what happened.
What's up? What's
Um,
up?
Curbside voting, park and call the number on the signage. Here is what curbside voting looks like at City Hall. I know last year we added some signage. So poll workers will exit from that door that you kind of see here in the upper right hand. They'll approach vehicle and be ready to assist. And then, of course, at every polling location, you're going to have a curbside voting area as well. That will be on your site plan. Your moderator will have that site plan in their packet and they'll know where that is. So typically it's two assistant registrars, I believe, that go out for that. But as long as it's two, there always must be two, never one. Keep in mind that there is a rule, I believe it's 20 feet, that no one can like approach the vehicle with campaign pamphlets, electioneering, anything like that. I don't think legally there has to be signage, but just as an election officer, just know that that's a rule. And if there's any concerns with that, contact, the moderator, contact our office. Stuart, am I right on that?
Yeah, and we're going to eventually get some kind of signs, but as you can imagine with curbside voting, a lot of those are going to have to be something that would wait to stay put because they're not,
Yeah.
the stakes in the ground don't really work there.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
we're
so I think I read
work in
today
progress
like
still for
maybe a
the
cone
August.
suffices. So yeah, we'll figure something out like that.
We'll have something eventually. It may be a
Mhm.
little raggedy this time.
Yeah. Only the moderator has the authority in the polling place if the registrar is not there. Conflicts should always, even by the moderator, be directed to the registrar's office. The registrar of voters ultimately will make all the decisions. So we just ask, everybody, feel safe, treat everybody, inclusively and just, make sure that you have a safe environment. So remain calm and professional. If a school leader, staff, principal, custodian, or anyone has a complaint or grievance, just have your moderator contact us here at the registrar's office. We always make extreme communication and contact with the principals, the custodians, the athletic directors. So they all know that we're coming. We coordinate with Norwalk Public Schools. We coordinate with the library director. So we'll know how to handle the situation. And, just our biggest ask is just, always just remain respectful no matter how hard it might be at that moment. Moderators, use your city cell phone. Curbside voters will is spelled wrong, be calling. Um, and always, if you're an assistant registrar, make sure that you have your headphones on and that you are paying attention to the Zoom because we may need to get in touch with you. You may need to get in touch with us, and we want to help you field those calls. Site layouts, we talked about that. We will do site setup, and we will communicate about that. And this is an old slide. It says November 4th. It's November 3rd, but in this case, it's August 11th. So I'm really sorry about that. Okay. If you see the press come through, typically we're okay with that. We just want to make sure that they're not interfering with any voting process, invading, the privacy of any voters. So typically, you should point them in the direction of the moderator. And if the moderator has any concerns, they can reach out to us or, grab their officer. Remember, all of your polling sites have cameras and Zoom feeds live throughout the day, so just be mindful. And we are mindful of voter privacy with ballots, of course, so we're very strategically ensuring that there's no breach that way. And we'll reach out to you if there's any concerns, but secrecy at the ballot is always first and foremost. You want to make sure to prevent voter intimidation, disruption, anything like that. So if you have any concerns, let us know. Um, okay, we've got that down pat. This is just some of the community outreach stuff we do. I'm not going to go over this too much. There are no changes. There's no executive order for 2026. Nothing has changed in terms of acceptable forms of identification. We will go over all of that during the training. That's really important for checkers. But just, keep in mind that, there are several ways to there are several acceptable IDs that can be shown, including a utility bill, a library card with a photo, a Costco card with a photo, a credit card with a signature, an expired driver's license, a driver's license from out of state. And the biggest thing to remember is you are not verifying address or residency, you are verifying identity. So just keep that in mind. And when all else fails, if they do not have ID in Connecticut, they can fill out an affidavit. And your moderator will know where that is. Your assistant registrar will know where that is. And that is the ED 681 form. Never turn a voter away. They have the ability to sign that affidavit. And trust me, if they sign it and it's not legitimate, it's not a good thing. Okay.
Diana,
Yeah.
you've got a federal election, so they can't. So only the Democrats can do that in this primary, because in a federal election
Oh,
you don't
that's
have
true.
that,
You're
and you've
right.
got because it's congressional that your
You're right.
primary is
You're right.
federal. So,
You're correct. Yes,
so it's
sorry about
weird,
that.
but
That's
the
right.
Democrats can use that, and the Republicans can't.
That is true. Yes, and
And
you'll
then
and
in the fall, those federal rules apply to everybody.
you'll.
Right, that was going to be my bonus question during training on Saturday. You just gave everybody the answer.
So, okay, awesome. So we've got all that. Um, the polls close. The last person in line at 8 p.m. Has the ability to vote. Make sure they're not feeling, rushed. Don't overwhelm your moderator. Assistant registrars, don't shut down right away until your moderator gives the go ahead in case there's a question or an issue. And once that last voter exits, you can begin your closeout procedures. Take direction from your moderator. You can allow the moderator will make the decision to allow press and parties in. Your police officer will assist you. And just be sure that everyone returns their completed pay sheets and any documentation. I always like to reference, I heard a story that Karen sent somebody in the middle of the night to somebody's house because they left the polls and they didn't sign something that they were supposed to. So she sent a police officer at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So don't be that person. We don't want to have to send anybody to your house. Just make sure you check in with your moderator before you check out to make sure that you've done everything that you need to. Um, Moderators are the only ones that go to City Hall. End of night packing the blue cabinets. Watch that YouTube video. You'll also learn about that in your class, but there is a YouTube video up. And I think we're good. Onboarding, don't forget, reach out if you have any questions. Um, Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. There's lots of good information there. Thank you. And moderator certification and recertification class. So if your certification is expiring before August 11th, or you're working as a moderator for the first time for this election, you need to attend a moderator um, certification, recertification class. So please reach out to us. You can email myself and Stuart and let us know that you need to take that class. We will schedule it. I think we were talking about possibly, Matt, what was that date that we threw out? Do you remember?
I
Was it?
don't believe, no, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, we're thinking about, I want to say it might have been like July 20th or something like that. But regardless, just reach out to us so we know how many people, and we will work with you. It should be a fairly small number. We'll work with you to see if you're able to take the class with us during the day. I think that's what we did last year. If not, we'll work to get an evening class, okay? So moderators, if you are up for certification, or you're new, reach out to us, let us know, and we will schedule
How,
a class.
how
And
long
Stuart,
is the how
those
long is the certification good for?
4 years.
Okay.
4 years. And if we haven't contacted you, then and you have served as a moderator in the past, it's very likely that you are not due. But if you want us to check, we're happy to do that. I think at one point we floated around the actual like copy that was sent to the state. We did find that there might have been a few people missing from that. So if you're not sure, just reach out and we'll do the homework for you.